Babak and I decided to create a casual team, and I was inspired by a poster that Babak branded up himself, and we called ourselves the Mustache Vector Machines. Geeks allowed. And we asked Samira to join us with her technical background and data-centric intelligence. She's very good at what she does. So we wanted to take it a step further. We were looking around at involving ourselves in the local community and looked at some meetups. We go to the Python meetup, which is really cool technical talks on Python. And there's an R meetup, but not really a focus on data science and AI. So, well, let's do it and see how it goes. And that's what we're doing right now. We talked about what our vision is for that. We do not want to have a lot of technical discussions where we're really going into the weeds. We want to keep it high level so we can have a general audience and really focus on how can we use data science to add value. How can we monetize it? How can we solve problems with it and keep a business focus to it? So our talks, our presentations will be pretty high level. And beyond that, I just personally have networked with people. I find them on LinkedIn, find them from talking to other people. Like, oh, there's a principal data scientist over this company. Well, what are they doing? I'm curious to know those things. And I'm sure that other people are too. So we are going to be inviting other people from companies throughout the local area to speak, and also some companies to sponsor some of our events so that they can also say, we're solving problems here and we need help. And hopefully we can build a community to get that going. So, which leads me to the TriPark conversation. You'll see here that we are presenting this through TriPark, and back to introduce TriPark in a moment, but we threw this together, arranged where we're going to have it. We got the food prepared, and that's kind of the theme that we like to go moving forward. Not necessarily as casual as this in a bar, but that's always a nice touch. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Babak.
Hi, I'm Babak, and as we said, we are a group of, let's say, data science enthusiasts or data scientists, we can call ourselves, but as we see the technology progresses every day very fast, so today you might be the scientist, but tomorrow you're not, you're losing a lot of things. It's like there are very, very new things coming on board, and like you need to learn it every day. We, as Rich said, we were thinking about having a group and start building a infrastructure here in Louisville, because Louisville is a city that is trying to become a hub and catch on to new trends and technology and become like a magnet for new technologies here, but we still lack a lot of things. So one of the things is we don't have any community here around the AI, machine learning, data science, and any of these new technologies. So TriPark is one of the businesses that we all are working on. In TriPark, we do a lot of consulting work, and also we have some different products. So one of our products, which is going to come out very soon, is a smart meeting management system, which is going to be an aid in your meetings, kind of doing the job of a secretary in the meetings. So note taking, separating the notes, converting to action points, and texting to the parties and all those things that application is going to do. That's something that we are working together on and getting it ready, hopefully by March. We have also other products. We have a project management application, which is learning based on your behavior and your team's behavior. It's called My Daily Panel. And also we have another product, which is a an environment for freelancers and employers to be able to find jobs and hire people. So it is kind of something similar to Upwork in those environments that you see. But the difference is this one is based on your own connections, not based on the just random proposals and random star ratings that you see there. Just like, and believe me, you can buy those star ratings for every review about 1 cent. So, and that's not something that you want to trust on that much anymore. So that's also another product of us. And here we are talking about the current trends in AI. This is going to be the first, but it's not going to be the last. We want to have a lot of more of these meetings, and we want to have more targeted and aimed and like fruitful meetings. So after the meeting, we are going to ask, what do you care to hear more about? So the next one, we focus on talking about that more than this. So without any more further ado, I'm going to start to talk about the trends of AI and machine learning, and I'm going to review the events and the advancements that we had in 2018, and then also review the ones that we are going to see in 2019. First, I'm going to talk about a little bit in detail about some technical aspects of machine learning and AI, and then I'm going to talk about more business use cases and more generalized aspects as well. So generally, we have 3 major categories of machine learning and AI. So those categories are computer vision, speech recognition, and natural language processing. I'm going to talk about every one of these, first talking about 2018 and then talking about 2019. So in 2018, for computer vision, we had a lot of exciting advancements. The first one and the most important one was GANs. So GAN, Generative Adversarial Network, is a specific kind of neural network that has been introduced by Jan Goodfellow in late 2016, in fact in 2017 almost. And it is a specific kind of network which is behaving very differently from the rest of them. It is in fact created of a pair of neural networks. And the first one is the generative one, which is generating random information. The second one is its adversary, or it is its trainer, which tells the first network that what you're saying is utter nonsense. So the first network has to learn something so that it gets an okay from the adversary. It is being used in a lot of different systems and solutions in 2018. It is being applied to a lot of new things as well. So one of the simple examples of this was, let's say, someone wants to create a neural network that is able to fake my signature. So the first network, the generative, is just creating random things. But the second network is a classifier that is trained on my signature, so it knows, it can say the difference between a fake signature or a correct signature of mine. So the first network says something or creates a stream of data and gives to the second network, and the second network says, no, it's nonsense. It creates another one, it creates another one, and this cycle trains the first network, and the first network learns to become creative. So creativity is something that we didn't have in anything. So now networks can be creative. Another example of these networks is teaching them music. So the first network is just creating, again, random signals for random notes. The second network is trained on the transitions of the notes and all those things. So when the first network is creating random, incorrect, or unacceptable transitions, second network is rejecting that. First network does the job, and then after some time it sees, oh, I've got an acceptance. So now it is something. we have musicians, we have painters, we have a lot of things, a lot of new tools based on those. These are kind of like gaming ones. We have also more serious solutions based on generative adversarial networks. All the advancements in video descriptions, all the advancement in video analysis that happened in 2018, most of them they happened because of GAN networks. In 2018 also it was the year that companies, they were boasting about how they can train systems very fast. So Google probably announced in June that, hey, we trained ImageNet, which is a 14 million data set of images, on our secret machine. They have a secret machine, and they announced that they trained the whole ImageNet on their machine in 3 hours. In about 2 months, Fast AI announced that they did the same thing just for $40 on 8 Amazon machines in 18 minutes. So that's huge difference. So that was also because of capability of fine-tuning and creating adversarial networks or LSTM supervised learning feedbacks to the networks that they had previously inside the system. Also in 2018, NVIDIA introduced a video-to-video synthesizer system, which was very important, and it changed a lot of dynamics and a lot of discussions. So with NVIDIA bit-to-bit system, the network is able to predict what every object in the stream of frames that we are seeing in the video is going to do. So this specific object in this frame is here. Now this bit-to-bit is able to predict that in 5 seconds this object is going to go there. So think about driverless cars. They want to know if this passerby, which is passing in the street, is going to jump in the road or not. That's something that we want to know. Also, bit-to-bit is able to get 2 standstill images of, let's say, human poses, and then it is able to create a transition video between those poses. So I can say like something like this, and then I can give another image like this, and then bit-to-bit is able to create a video based on that, which that video is very close to a real photorealistic video. In 2019, we are going to see a lot more advancement in self-driving cars, facial recognition algorithms, and virtual reality. Also, we are going to see more of self-driving drones. So we have seen some self-driving drones last year, but they were just self-maneuvering. They weren't self-flying, they weren't self-going to anywhere or anything like that. We have 2 models of self-RTH drones, which they were returning back to the point that they started to fly automatically. But in 2019, we are going to see drones that, based on the GPS locations, we can send them somewhere and then they can go and come back. And we are going to see more of self-supervised learning. So late 2018, Google introduced a use case of self-supervised learning on video. So before that, we had self-supervised learning for text mining, for word vocabulary creating, for language model creation, all those things. But there was no such usage for anything related to video. But Google introduced a new method for self-supervised learning to be able to track objects in videos. So think about solutions that they can come up. So in some years, you have systems that without any human interaction, they are able to identify objects and start tracking those objects automatically. So you can query videos, saying, in this video, this object, just give me all the information about this object. That's the amount of knowledge that you can extract using just self-supervised learning. Also, in 2019, we are going to see a lot of visual question and answering and visual dialogue systems. So in 2018, we had Autodesk that came into the discussion, and they started to create visual, like virtual audio-visual agents. And in 2019, we are going to see a lot more of that. Speech recognition. Speech recognition also is another major category, which we have seen a lot of advancement of speech recognition in 2018. Especially because of usage of deep convolutional long short-term memory networks. And we are going to see a lot more in 2019. So in 2018, we saw the huge battle between Amazon, Google, and Apple for the market share of smart speakers. But they are not smart speakers anymore. Amazon Alexa is able to understand your emotions right now. It is able to understand who's speaking, so different speakers in the same home. And it is able to start suggesting and helping you for other things. So it is becoming a virtual agent more than a just smart speaker. Also in 2018, we saw speech recognition surpassed human capability of understanding English. So now there is a system, it is called Mozilla Common Voice, which is capable of, which has the accuracy of 96.4%. A human accuracy on English-speaking language accents is about 92.1%. So that's something that machine has surpassed. Also in 2018, we saw Google Duplex. I think you have heard about something that Google has made that is calling a barbershop and getting an appointment for someone.
Yeah.
That's Google Duplex.
Yeah, we should share that video. If you haven't seen it, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. You've got the Google Assistant making a phone call to a barbershop, or with a salon or barbershop, you just being able to handle the back and forth and some things that you might, you could predict. Like, there's no way that a chatbot can handle something like that, and they just take right in stride.
So that text-to-speech system is just converting directly text to the speech, but it is capable of creating emotions in the sounds that it is generating. Synthesizing emotional sounds, that's a new level. Also in 2018, speech emotion recognition systems, which are new to the whole category of speech recognition usages, they came up to 70% accuracy in real time. But they are still have a long road to go. Right now, they just able to understand basic emotions. They are not able to create complex emotions. But that's something that will happen in 2019. So in 2019, we will see virtual assistants rise. So not only Amazon, not only Google, there are a lot of companies that they are working on virtual assistants. Especially there are a lot of companies in East Asia that they are working on chips that they have been designed specifically for virtual assistant application, and that's another level. So it is not just general microchips that they are connected together. They are made, their hardware is made for that specific application. And we will see a lot of Alexa-enabled devices. So we think Amazon's Alexa is just a random thing, but the thing is, Amazon is very good in spreading Alexa. So right now we have LG appliances that they are Alexa-enabled, so you can talk to your washing machine, some of LG brand washing machines, or some of refrigerators. You can talk to them. In 2019, we will see a lot of more of that. So Whirlpool has announced that they are going to give up Alexa-enabled appliances. We will see speech analysis getting to the next level in 2019 as well. So emotion recognition is going to grow. Age recognition is one of the things that it is coming out of speech recognition as a separate thing. So you talk to your Amazon Alexa, and Amazon Alexa says, "Oh, this song that you're asking, it is too lame for a 60 years old." and you're going to have weight estimation. Again, Alexa is going to say, hey, based on what I'm hearing from last week, you have gained 5 pounds. What is going on? So those are the things that they are going to be able to understand. Also, there are systems that there are lots of researches these days that they're happening around mental state analysis based on speech recognition, and also there are 2 new researchers working on pet voice analysis. So in about maybe next year, maybe the year after that, your dog is barking, and then your app in mobile phone says, your dog says, I want a new girlfriend. That's something that is going to happen very soon. So we have natural language processing, which is the last but not the least. In 2018, we saw a lot of systems that they were creating language model embeddings. So ULM Fit was the first one, Elmo Transformer by OpenAI, and BERT by Google. So these systems, you teach a language model to the system, and then now that language model is very general, and you can use it everywhere in every aspect, and also you can transfer learning to that language model. So you can create something that is general English, and then you can transfer learn Shakespearean English to that language model, and then from that point on, it is speaking Shakespeare for you. Or you can teach the language model, again, general English, and then you can teach, let's say, C language. It is not even an English language, but just like about some thousand samples, and it is going to learn C, and it is going to speak C for you from that point on. So that's language modeling embedding systems. And then we also have Facebook multilingual PyText, which came out last year, December, and it is a language model that is capable of understanding English and German at the same time. That's a very big step towards creating language models. Also, we have Google Duplex that we talked about. It is very capable as well. So in 2019, we are going to see pre-trained language model and embedding systems that they are becoming standard practice. So instead of you going on and working on thousands and thousands and thousands of samples to create one for yourself, you just use one of these, transfer learn, and that's it. You have it. We are going to see specialized language models like systems that are able to speak medical, systems that are able to speak law, those kind of systems. They are not only able to speak English, they understand law, they understand medical knowledge or medical language. And also there can be systems that they are multilingual, the same system that knows English and German and Japanese at the same time, or systems that you can go, like let's say in an airport and you want to get services, you don't need to know the language of the airport is in Japan, and you don't need to know Japanese to be able to talk to that system. The system is capable of understanding your language and responding back to your language. Also, we can have systems that, let's say here, we have a lot of insurance claims going out of Louisville. Some of them they are going out to Indiana because of the residence of the person. Some of them they are going to Kentucky, and we have different laws. You can have systems that are able to divide these two things. So start insurance coding and all those things based on the residence point. So they know Kentucky, they know Indiana separately. So in 2018, something important happened. GDPR really shook the world. GDPR was the only thing that was able to bring those giants into their knees and make them to change things in their systems and make them to be responsive and be responsible and be answering to what they are doing with our information. And that was a very important thing. And that made those giants to start talking about ethics and bringing ethics in their product. So Google is announced AI principles, which they are going to follow these principles. There is not much here yet, but it is a step. even though it is not enough, it is a step and it is nice. Also, Microsoft has introduced their AI principles. In Microsoft principles, there is something very important. The fourth principle is called transparency. And transparency means that Microsoft has to be able to describe how and with what kind of information they have reached to this conclusion that say this thing about some user. Suggesting something, showing something to user, or doing something with, interacting somehow with user, they have to be able to transparently say that. They, in fact, force themselves to go way more than Google to support those kind of principles. That's very important inside the principles from Microsoft. In 2019, you're going to see a lot of automated machine learning systems. So these things, they are dreams of like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, but they are becoming reality. Autocross is one of the examples. So the aim here is that we don't need to be a data scientist, we don't need to be a machine learning expert to be able to use those technologies and create new solutions. If we are subject matter expert in something and we have some data that we want to be able to extract something out of that data, we are going to use automated machine learning systems. So autocross is one of them. Also, we have new systems for preprocessors. So if anyone has done any data science projects, you know that preprocessing is the most painful, hardest part of everything. If you have your data correctly preprocessed, then you are in heaven. The rest of the things is easy. So there are data robots and preprocessors that they are coming, that you are going to just give your data, dump your data there, and they're going to do all the things for you. There are some companies that they have products right now. In fact, there is a company called Data Robot, and there is another one called Praxata, which they are doing that thing. Also, we are going to see a lot of self-pruning and self-compressing neural network and machine learning systems. So there is Darwin AI, which they are saying that they can reduce the size of the memory and process that your system needs by 40% in any commonly created or made neural network with their systems. So you give your general neural networks to their systems, and their system is going to do some tricks and tweaks inside the system and reduce your memory usage, reduce your process usage. That's a very big number. Intel Distiller also is another solution that is an embedded solution inside the chips that it is going to do somehow similar something to that. So it is going to compress the information that needs to be passed through the buses, and it is going to save a lot of speed and time for you. In 2018, we started to see a big movement towards AI in chip. So we had a lot of, that push was first made because of Bitcoin. So in 2017, in 2016, there were companies that were creating ASIC chips, so application-specific ICs for generating Bitcoins. But then, in early 2018, those companies started to create, because they were losing that market, they started to think about creating systems that are able to do the calculations for a neural network. And they started to create neural network cards. And then NVIDIA started to be agile, and NVIDIA started to create new neural network specific cards. So they are not GPUs anymore. They are not able to do any graphical thing anymore. They are neural network specific cards that they just do the calculations. So Cerberus is also another company which is in China. They have raised $600 million to create neural network Turing machines the size of a smartwatch. So that's if they give out anything in 2019, that would be a revolution. And Capricorn is also another one of those